The core concept of literacy could be described with the word fluency, specifically fluency in reading and writing. Since the creation of written language in ancient Mesopotamia, people have been communicating by the written word, and the only way to be literate was if you were fluent in a language. The 21st century, however, requires literacy in more than just reading and writing. It includes social literacy, cultural literacy, and financial literacy, among many others. As communication across continents continues to grow, these will be the literacies all students must begin to learn and practice in order to best prepare for the future. But the 21st century will ultimately be defined by its exponentially advancing technology, and this hardware and software is where students and teachers alike must become literate. With the power of communication in the pockets, hands, and even watches or glasses of our students, teachers must begin to embrace these tools to help students appropriately and efficiently connect to the outside world. Through the help of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google, students today can access more of the world than ever thought imaginable from their very own classrooms. Without basic fluency in technology, social media, and collaboration, students will be unprepared to take on the path that is set in front of them for the future. Students of the 21st century are a product of their times, and at no other time in the history of the world has so much information been produced and consumed than right now in the present. The amount of shared content grows at an exponential level on a daily basis. And because of this, our students will exponentially view more selfies and cat videos, but they will also view more opinions and perspectives from around the world. Since this is the case, students must be taught how to actively interact with content produced by others. They must become fluent in their abilities to view content, engage with it by asking questions, making connections, generating inferences, and most importantly, using it for their own utility. There's little use for content that cannot be remixed, built upon, or challenged. Students are active and passive consumers of media, but more importantly, they are creators. They are innovators. They are engineers. For the 21st century students, the days of simply reading a text and answering the teacher-generated questions are coming to an end. Instead, students will navigate this content, sometimes with great difficulties, in order to make it their own, in order to ask and answer their own questions, in order to corroborate or challenge theories, in order to think on their own. The teacher-centered classrooms will turn into student-centered classrooms, with the teacher using these new technological tools to guide learning. Students must then take this content and create. There's little use in text and content that students regurgitate once on an exam. Instead, students must use their own creativity, their own ingenuity, and their own imagination to produce meaningful content of which they can be proud. In order for students to succeed in these ways, teachers will have to alter their teaching strategies. Text will move from paper to screens, from pencils to keyboards, from words to hyperlinks. Since this is the case, teachers must teach students how to appropriately use all of these tools at their disposal to make the content more meaningful. This means building in intriguing questions based on personal perspectives, having students evaluate their own interest in the material, and allowing students to propose challenges or alternative approaches to the content. Thus, class lessons will focus more on group collaboration and simulations. To do this, teachers must first demonstrate how to approach, interact, and evaluate content for their students. They must demonstrate that approaching text includes evaluating sources, authors, titles, and perspectives even before reading. They must illustrate how to interact with a reading sentence by sentence to show what close reading really looks like. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, they must exemplify post-content thinking, whether it be feelings of shock and despair, yearning for more, or flat-out boredom. Literacy in the 21st century cannot simply be defined as fluency, because passively understanding and consuming shows very little ability to reconstruct or challenge pre-existing content. 21st century literacy is an interactive and engaging mindset used in both consuming and producing content. It is a mindset that will allow all students to succeed into the future.